biggest white thing anybody saw of that size in a long time. Look at the girth on this baby.
It's the biggest white thing you could offer anyone.
At least in this house, yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back, know-it-alls. Thanks for joining us mid-conversation with Charlie Ray and Mr. Clay. Charlie Ray is our special guest host this week, and he is a master of tantric massage. He's a radio DJ, and he has attended over 3,000 concerts in his lifetime. So sit back and enjoy 20 Questions with Charlie Ray and Mr. Clay.
Charlie Ray, baby.
Charlie Ray, baby. So, Charlie Ray, what brings you to the Answers for Everything podcast?
Well, I just thought I'd branch out and try something different. And I've been digging what you've been laying down on your podcast and thought, hey, I could contribute to this.
All right. So when it comes to contributing, we only ask for a couple things. Girth size, pictures, lots of pictures. You ready?
That's going to be a no-go.
Oh. Oh, there you go, folks. That's the show for the week. It's like Charlie Ray's too shy.
It's like this.
Oh, same color and everything?
Yeah, even with pills in it. That's why the ladies like to suck on it so much.
That's awesome. Are those your pills or someone else's?
Those are my pills.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Anything you want to talk about, or?
No, not at this point, but no. They're not happy pills.
They're not happy pills.
And gotta make the dog not wary around here.
Yeah. So, Charlie Ray, where exactly do you live?
I live in the glorious town of Kansas City.
How long have you been there?
My entire life, 50 years.
Do you want to change that? Do you ever want to leave?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, nobody really comes to Kansas City voluntarily unless they're born here.
Yeah, I feel the same way living on the prairies.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I mean, Kansas City is eastern part of Kansas, and then you go about 60 miles, and I'm sure the flatness is the same as it is in where you're at, and just warmer.
Oh yeah, it's way warmer. I mean, you get your cold snaps, but nothing like we have, like minus 45 Celsius.
Right? No. I mean, you got to speed on the cold.
It's fucking terrible. All right, so for the audience to get to know us a little better, I've arranged 10 questions that I'm going to ask you about yourself. And I hope you brought something to the table to ask me.
Of course I do. Besides girth size.
Well, besides girth size, you already know that. All those pictures I send you?
Oh, yeah.
You already know. Yeah, you keep asking for more pictures.
Nah, I can't get enough.
I know. It's too bad the ladies can't. It's always dudes. I just recently had a guy on Instagram add me, and he's like, I want to be your sugar daddy. I want you to be my sugar baby. And I'm like, I wonder what this entails. If it's just like dick pics and stuff, yeah, I'll send him if he's going to give me money. Right? But if he wants to meet up and like touch me and stuff, I'm not cool with that. So he keeps saying how he wants to pay me. And I was like, yeah, well, let's get some details. Bang it out. So I'm screenshotting all the stuff and then send it to my friends. We're just laughing about this guy who wants me to be his sugar baby. And it's like 2 days of him beating around the bush of him saying he's going to pay me, but he hasn't actually said what he wants me to do. And then he finally says, in order for me to send you like $500 a week, I need a show of good faith. So I need you to go to buy me a Google Play card and send it to me. It's like, oh, you fucker. I'm not a sugar baby. I'm supposed to be a fucking moron that's hands over money to this guy. So then I started calling him sexist and racist and stuff. So he starts freaking out and yelling at me online. And I was like, now you just sound like an asshole. Forget the sexist and racist stuff. You're just a piece of shit human being. And then he deleted me.
Oh, well, you can be somebody else's sugar bitch one of these days.
Would you do it? Like, would you do it?
Fuck no.
Why not?
Hell no.
$500 a week to just send him a picture of your dick?
It costs more than that for this golden boy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have high standards of myself. So 500 was like a pipe dream.
We start talking 1,000, maybe I could set up in Mexico or something for that and retire from the day-to-day living here.
Can you imagine? You get paid $1,000 a week just to send some psycho dude who wants your dick pictures of it?
Well, I don't know. Ladies get to do it and just showing their feet and stuff. So why not?
It's true. Like there's a girl that just squishes bread and gets paid, like on her like OnlyFans. She gets loaves of bread and she just squishes them like with her fingers as hard as she can into little balls. And she's got like 1 million fucking followers. Like even if she gets, you know, a quarter of those people giving her $1 a month.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. You ever heard of splooshing?
No, tell me.
That's where a woman, it will like take a cake or something like that and like in a bikini or whatever and sit on it and smoosh it and just, you know, it's like food play.
I don't understand why people pay for it. Number one, because I'm not into it. But
well, yeah.
The next question I have is, how can I get paid to do it? I'll wear a bikini. I'll mash food and cake and shit up.
You just need to do like a lumberjack channel. Try to get the ladies to like, you know, support Clay of the Great White North.
Yeah, I don't know.
And if they come up, you can show them your flagpole.
Yeah, I mean, all you know, 2 inches of it. So sad. They're not coming back after that. Let's be honest.
Now I heard of another one yesterday. I was watching this podcast from these guys out of Miami, and they were talking about, you know, they usually they do an after hours. So they do a couple of shows. They do an after hours show after they go out to the clubs, and they get women to come back from the Miami clubs, and they just do a show and interview them and stuff. And this girl's talking about how she makes money showing her underarm hair, guys' hair.
Actual fuck.
Exactly. Guys are like, yeah, baby, show me that pit hair. I'm like, here's some money. And see, that's called life on easy mode, right there.
I want life on easy mode.
Well, you can't. You're a dude. Sorry.
I guess I do. I'm white and I'm a dude, so that's pretty privileged as it is in today's world. So I should be thankful I've got that, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, you do have to apologize every day and feel guilty down here.
Actually, I don't. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't either.
You might get there.
Well, I'm trying. You know, I'm trying.
All right. So I got a question here for you.
All right.
If you had to choose like your top 3 dream jobs, so you can pick any one of these 3, like your top 3 that you'd like to do. You love the work so much that you would do it for just enough money to live a super modest lifestyle. You know, you do it 6 hours a day, 4 days a week, but you love the job.
Top 3 jobs? Well,
yeah.
Number 1 would be something I'm already interested in and you're aware of, which is the tantra massage work. Okay. I would do that. Although, yeah, I mean, 4 times a week, if I split it up, I could do it. It is intensive when you're doing 2 or 3 hour massages. It would probably be a combination job really of that and then teaching. So it'd be the same kind of line of work. That would be my dream job. Number 2. So
could you do different sessions every day, or is it just it takes a lot out of you that you can do 1 session a day?
Well, I mean, it's 3 hours of intensive work. I mean, some of what it entails. I mean, I need to get back in the gym and work on my forearms more because, man, some of those endings take a while. But
again, my right forearm is pretty strong, but my left one is weak sauce.
Well, your kung fu grip's probably pretty strong too.
Yeah, but only on the right arm. Yeah. I don't use a stranger very often.
Well, you gotta switch it up, make them think the neighbor came to visit. But anyway, yeah. I mean, you could do a 3 hour session a day. 2 would be pushing it. I'd have to, like I said, I'd have to probably alternate it. But maybe I would do like a 2-day session. Take a day off, do a teaching day. Like do like some kind of podcast or video teaching or something on the subject. Another day. It can be done. I mean, 4 days isn't bad. You get plenty of rest. If that's all I've got to do, and I can focus on my health and everything else to be in the optimal shape to do it, I could probably do 2 a day.
Yeah, like you don't need the 9 to 5. You don't have the boss. You don't have the schedule. You don't have to really set an alarm except for your meeting or except for your session, but you get to choose when that session is. So if you're better at waking up at noon and starting your session at 1, that's your day every day. Yeah,
I could do that. I could do 1 in the morning, take a few hours of a break, and then do 1 in the afternoon. I wouldn't have to be continuous, but that would be my dream job. And the second dream job would probably be being like a comedic actor. If I was, obviously I had to be, if I was good, it was a dream job. I'm good at what I do. That'd be fun. And 3, go back in time and be Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, I probably had a pretty damn good life.
Oh man, the 60s and 70s and even 80s were probably pretty lit, until
Yeah.
he got up into his 70s. But thank God Viagra came along so he could extend that, so
I'm
to
pretty
speak.
sure his life was great up until like it started losing money for the company,
Yeah,
before it
yeah,
started being viable with today's, internet porn access.
right.
Like Playboy was the shit. I mean, even as a kid, we would love to, come across a stash of that stuff.
Yeah, tell you what, man. If that, I think the grotto's been destroyed now. But gosh, man, you think about the stories that grotto could have told, you'd peel your ears back.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he had cameras set up. You sign a disclaimer when you walk in, and he just sat there and watched it and touched himself for years.
Did you ever hear that story about the vault beneath Playboy Mansion where he had all this stuff stored, like stuff that he videoed, including like himself having sex with people
No.
oh yeah, this guy did a story on it that he was taken down there by, I can't remember if it was his son or another relative, and he had to go down there, and he had to empty all his pockets, make sure he didn't have anything recording on him. They like patted him down. He had to go through a metal detector, all this stuff to like check for like any kind of things transmitting anything before he went in this room. And he went in this room, and it was just lined with just like every type of recording, from old 8mm stuff all the way up to more modern stuff. And he was showing pictures of it's like, I can't say because I was signed a non-disclosure, but
Yeah.
it's like it was, but basically kind of inferred like Hugh filming Marilyn Monroe getting boned. I mean, stuff like that. I mean, just all kinds of crazy stuff, like super famous people. And like he'd be doing the video and you could hear Hugh's voice like, hey, no, do this, do that, and he'd be videoing it, and just crazy stuff. And I'm just like, man, I can only imagine.
Larry Flint, eat your heart out.
Exactly. So yeah, I'd take that life for Hugh had a good life. Let's just put it that way, all the
Oh
way.
yeah. I wouldn't say the best life, but I'd say pretty damn close. Something I would definitely wouldn't be disappointed about having.
No, absolutely not.
So that's so simple, right?
Oh
Just
yeah.
magazine, couple naked pictures, and then tons of articles. It's pretty simple. Very entrepreneurial.
It was. Now everything's free on the internet, and
Yep.
oh well.
All right. Would you describe your childhood as happy? And,
Okay, do you have more to it?
well, would you describe your childhood as happy, and how does that description compare to your adult life?
Wow, that's a hard one. You're going deep there, Clay, and I don't mean the way I'd like it to be.
Oh, I can't go deep. Remember 2 inches?
Well, then it's even better. No pain, no gain. Okay, seriously. Well, feeling is only the first 3 inches really anyway, unless you hit the cervix, and then you got to be working with at least 8 to 9 right there. So, okay, happy childhood. Would I say it was a happy childhood? Yes and no. I'd say it was just kind of mediocre when I review it in my life now. I mean, it wasn't bad. I had an only child, grew up in a fairly diverse lower middle class neighborhood. Had a lot of friends, did really well up in elementary school. And right around the time when you transition from elementary school to the junior high level period, there was a lot of angst going on in my life and between my parents. And then we moved from a fairly diverse area, which was becoming more of a struggle because in the early 80s, let's just say race relations in America were getting to more and more headbutting. So there was more things to worry about as a kid at that point. So then I moved from there to like super white land where I live kind of now. And it was like a complete opposite spectrum, only it's kind of worse for me because I was kind of like more like all of a sudden now I'm like the lower level person in a school versus being more of like the middle or upper part. So it was really a challenge from a fitting in from a socioeconomic aspect. So childhood wise, it was okay. That's as far as school goes. As far as family goes, it was pretty consistent. I mean, I have a pretty small family and saw my relatives a lot, and it was okay. I mean, I got some things I wanted as a kid. I didn't get others, but hey, I think we all had that kind of living. Yeah.
There was the kid that had the USS flag from G.I. Joe, and there was only one kid in my whole town that had it. One kid.
Oh, he's Mr. Popularity too, wasn't he?
But, he was. He was a year older than I was. And just so listeners have something to, grasp at here, Charles and I collect G.I. Joe toys, like a lot. Charles is a little bit more obsessive than I am.
Trying not to be.
Little is a lie. He's a lot more obsessive than I am, but it's fine. It's our collection. And yeah, this kid, his name was Kelly. He had the USS flag, but every year his family would go to Las Vegas for a holiday, because I would remember him coming back to school, and he would have all the new figures that we didn't, because we grew up in a super small town. There was like a Home Hardware and a Stedman's, which is like Dollar General.
Okay.
So there was like 2 stores like that, like Ace Hardware, and they had a toy section, and Stedman's, which was like Dollar General, so a small toy section. That's the only access I had to G.I. Joe toys. And it was, there'd be something on the shelf 3 years later. So your 1986 toys would be on the shelf in 1989.
Okay.
So he would always have the new stuff that wasn't out yet. And he would always come back to town, and he would trade his like one figure he bought. I remember he had like a Bats when they first came out, and he traded that one figure for a kid for like 10 other figures. So he was trading like 1 for 10 because he had all the new ones. And then 6 months later, you'd be able to, they would show up on the shelf. But
right,
he was laughing because he was just accumulating so much good stuff to trade for shit that didn't exist yet in our world. But it's not like it didn't exist. It just didn't exist in our town.
Well, he was proven to be a true capitalist at a young age.
I just wish he would have traded that USS flag for something.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't get mine until I was, God, it's been like, I don't know, about 10 years ago.
But yeah, you have to be a grown up to get it, just to afford it.
Yeah.
No, I still don't have it.
Well, even then, I mean, I paid like $350 for it, and now the prices on it are ridiculous. I mean, way ridiculous. Yeah. But
I'm never gonna have one, and I'm okay with that.
I was gonna ask you if you had one.
No, I even sold my Defiant that I had. So
yeah, I never did go ahead and get that. I just never got into the whole space aspect, so I just said nah.
No, mine was an eBay buy. Anyway, that's enough.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that'll be a whole podcast on its own. We talk about that, maybe several. But
so
yeah,
now as an adult.
As an adult, I got to learn and understand the songs I didn't understand as a kid about heartbreak and watch your butt and don't trust certain people and all the things you don't really understand as a kid. You're going, oh, that's stupid, I don't understand that. Well, you do when you're older. You go, oh, I know what happened to that boy, or I know what happened to that person. But you know what? All in all, for the most part, with me, everybody can always say good. I wish I'd made better decisions. I wish I'd made that. I wish I'd made this. But you know what? I've had fun along the way. I got to meet all my favorite bands. I got to stand on the side of the stage to watch Motorhead play to 50,000 people. I met and interviewed Lemmy. I met Angus and Malcolm Young. I met ZZ Top twice. I met a ton of other bands that I'm not going to go through the list. But I mean, I had a great time. That's
its own podcast, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've seen over 3,500 concerts in my life.
God,
I've and we won't even touch upon, at least not in this episode, my episodic foray into swinger land after my second divorce and all that other stuff.
Hold on. Question 4. All right.
So, but we'll wrap this one up. But yeah, you know what? It's been about the same. It's got pluses and minuses. I mean, it's like, what do you choose to focus on? Do you choose to focus on the good memories or the bad memories? And thankfully, the human mind mostly is designed to push those bad memories away and kind of bury them and try to build up the good stuff. It's like I try to think of all the bad things with my ex, and it's like it's hard to remember them. I mean, I know we weren't always happy and we split up, but I just remember the good things,
Yeah, well, that's the way it should be, right?
Yeah.
Don't dwell on the bad shit, because then you're never ever going to be a happy person.
Well, I've managed to avoid the great American pastime of popping pills and Prozac and everything else down here. So
I know that's out here too.
Yeah,
people aren't happy naturally. It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it is. But that's that's human nature. Human nature really, I think, was designed to keep you unhappy, because if you're happy, that's when you're just sitting there sunning yourself and the saber-toothed tiger takes you out. You don't make it to the next generation.
Well, I'll probably be eaten by that thing, because I do enjoy a good happiness sitting.
Well, you got polar bears pretty close, probably. So
I've never seen one, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they're around. I know Winnipeg has them, or Manitoba has them, but
yeah, there you go.
All right, question 3. Right. Since you didn't want it to be so deep, let's move on to: did either of your parents ever catch you masturbating as a child?
No. Actually, here's a really weird, and God, this is way too personal truth. I never masturbated until after I had sex the first time.
Did you have sex for the first time at 7, 8, 9 years old?
Nope, I was 18.
Oh man, you missed out.
Yes, but I did have copious amounts of what I did not understand, but later knew to be wet dreams, and I did.
Oh.
It was really embarrassing to a young man who did not have any kind of education in sexual matters. But I've worked on that very much extensively since then, as far as education goes.
All right. Have you ever been in a threesome?
Many times.
Male, male, female, male, female, female, or male, male, male?
Well, none of the male, 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 but both of the other ones, yes. Actually, I've been in a foursome and a sevensome and some other crazy stuff too. So
I would suspect that's its own podcast.
Yeah, it's its own podcast.
All right, so we're gonna leave people hanging with that because they're gonna want to hear about
it. Who doesn't?
All right. Let's say you were going on a date, but you invited the female over for dinner. What would you cook for them that you are pretty sure would be an instant panty dropper?
Well, I do have a dish that I don't know if I've ever told you about this. I call it my panty dropper dish, but basically it's the best dish that I know how to cook. So it kind of has to qualify.
It's my dick on a plate.
Well, they stole dick in a box from me. So, damn it, Justin Timberlake, stealing all my best material. All of it. And Jessica Biel. Damn it. I know.
And Britney Spears. Come on.
Yes, I know. Rough lifestyle.
Life is so hard.
You know who I really envy though is the guy who played Fez on the '70s show. It's like what prime actress did he not nail? And have you seen the model that he married?
No.
Come on, man. Great. That's American dream right there, man.
Save some for the rest of us.
Exactly. Okay. So back to the panty dropper dish. This is my go-to dish, and it's fairly modern and hip, I guess, sort of. As far as healthy goes. Yeah. Basically, let's see. Let's start off with the side dishes, and I'll tell you the main dish. Side dishes would be a baked sweet potato with a little bit of cinnamon, grass-fed butter. That's one side dish. Second side dish would be, and this one you're taking kind of a risk, but asparagus spears infused with coconut oil and like Montreal steak seasoning, baked in the oven, nice and tender. Pairs really well. And then the main dish would be a blackened mahi, maybe an orange roughy, with sauce made out of grass-fed butter, garlic, cilantro, and that's it. Melted and poured over the fish. I mean, it's delicious. Well, my
panties just
have it on the plate. Wow.
Yep.
Watch out, Great North. He's available.
Totally available.
So that's my panty dropper dish.
Number 6. What makes you cry? When's the last time you cried?
Let's see. Well, unfortunately, I'm cursed with a little bit of a soft heart, so I get emotional with some things. But just basically, maybe animals or something. I don't know. Seeing people that it touches me when I see people succeed against their odds, a little bit, and but not like cry. I mean, that's only when I'm drinking late at night and it's too much vodka and I think about the past.
So when you're thinking about the past, is it like relationships you're thinking of, or just like family life, or what are you thinking of that makes you a little bit emotional?
Probably relationship stuff. Like I said, you know me, I've had 2 divorces. So, but you know what? That's pretty much in the past now. I've pretty much, that's all cleared out and gone away now. So I don't really have that feeling anymore. It's just the past. But closer to the actual time period, I was more emotional.
So question number 7 is, why do you think those relationships failed?
Well, obviously, I'm the common denominator, so there you go.
That's how I feel with all of mine.
Why do I think they fail? Because there is no making most women happy. How about that? Because you can't make them happy if they can't really articulate what will make them happy. And not only that, you can't make another person happy, period. Only you can make yourself happy. And that's the way I feel. And so trying to make someone else happy as your main goal in life is a fool's game, and one you shouldn't even try to play, because you're going to lose even before you start.
That's pretty good advice. Too bad you can't go back in time and give that to your younger self.
Well, yeah, with a few healthy slaps, yes.
Yeah, but then again, you wouldn't be where you are right now. So you describe your life as pretty decent.
Yeah.
So you change your past, you might not be where you are, and you're in a good place. So live, learn, right?
That's right. That's right. That's what, I have a question I'm going to ask you, but
yeah,
but my answer to the question was never stop learning.
Okay.
So, but I'll ask you the question when we get to my questions.
All right. If you had to decide what your biggest fear was, what is it?
An elevator, a huge guy who thought I looked attractive, and I was not into that.
Every time you step into an elevator, you fear it?
Well, I look in there, and if Lurch is standing there and he's looking like that, looking at me with a big grin, I just walk away. No, seriously, that's not a big fear. It's not probably very realistic outside of. No, anyway, biggest fear. What is my biggest fear? God, I don't know. I mean, I used to say never being able to retire, or not being healthy enough to enjoy my retirement. Those are kind of fears at this point in my life. So,
okay. If you had to choose any city on the planet to travel to as soon as quarantine was lifted and you were able to catch a flight and go anywhere, where would it be and why?
God, that's a tough one. I mean, it's a choice between going somewhere I've never been or going somewhere I've been to before and love and or know people. Right now, I'm on a major kick about wanting to travel to Southeast Asia. And so as long as everything's safe, everything's good, I'd kind of like to go to Vietnam, maybe like Ho Chi Minh City, formerly known as Saigon. I think it'd be cool, especially if I had a friend or some friends with me and do like a motorbike trip, like up the country, or go from the north to the south, something like that. I want to do more adventurous things and, get away from, I do not want to be the guy who goes on the super scheduled, like 10-day tour and like, oh, you got 2 hours here and you got 4 hours here. I'm more of a let it develop kind of guy when it comes to travel. So that's kind of my plan. Someplace warm for sure.
All right. When it comes to penis sizes, would you prefer your penis to be long and skinny or short and fat?
I'd prefer it to be long and fat.
Well, you know what? At this point, you only get to choose one of the two.
Well,
I'm not talking chode. I'm not talking more wider than it is long.
I was gonna say, man, we're talking fire plug here, or well, let's just put it this way. For my study of what women really want, I would say probably more of the average size and thicker is probably better than long and skinny.
Okay.
I mean, because otherwise, basically, you end up with like 6 inches of dry dick, and who wants that?
Well, I've never had any inches of dry dick, so you know what? I might be down.
There you go.
All right, that's 10 questions with Charlie Ray.
All right, well, Clay, now that I've answered some of your questions, both serious and not so serious, are you ready for my 10 questions?
Shoot, let's do this.
All right. Well, this first question is going to be a pretty vague one, but who is Clay Duchesne?
Oh, my God. I'm a man of my word, friend to the end, ride or die kind of guy. I don't really have a lot of sympathy or empathy in my body, so that might be problematic. I tend to solve the problem before complaining about the problem, because the last thing I want before I go to bed is knowing I've got problems to fix the next day. Glass half full kind of guy, but always refillable. I think that sums it up. Oh, never serious, except maybe when I just answered those questions. But other than that, never serious.
All right. Well, moving on from who you are, what from being who you are to now has led you to create this podcast, and why did you name it what you named it?
The podcast partner I have, we think we're smarter than everybody else around us. We always believe we're right no matter what, even when we're wrong. We'll admit to it, but grudgingly. And so we tend to always have answers for all of our friends whenever they have questions. Like if they need help, they come to us. If we see something we don't like, we try and butt in with a solution to whatever the problem is there. And you can't tell us we're wrong, because more often than not, we are actually right. So it's sort of given us that ego that answers for everything.
Okay, answers for everything. I guess that'll be a popular topic then. Answers. All right. All right. So me knowing a little bit about you, and you're being kind of a food aficionado, especially of junk food and more. What are 3 favorite things and 3 worst things you've ever tried?
We're talking worldwide, just a snack, not a meal, right?
Yeah, let's just go worldwide in a snack.
All right. Hands down, my favorite thing on the planet is Fruity Pebbles, American-made Fruity Pebbles. So one of the best things I've ever had in my life was a Fruity Pebbles bar, sort of like a cereal bar with like yogurt on it.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Gooey. It's like a Rice Krispie treat, but with the Rice Krispies replaced by Fruity Pebbles. You can't go wrong. It's so fucking good. One of the worst.
I will agree, since I've had that too. So.
Yeah, they have a new one with a nougat in it, like a white nougat with like Fruity Pebbles strewn throughout it. But I've never got it because I live in Canada. So, and with quarantine, I haven't made it down to the States in over a year. Usually, it's 2 or 3 road trips, and I'll come back with all that crap. But not this year. You know, still waiting.
Right.
Hopefully, it's still on the shelves when I get down there. One of the worst things that I've ever had was on like a road trip to Southern California or Northern California. We stopped at this gas station, and I saw 2 different sodas I wanted to try. One was called Glow in the Dark, but it was all sold out. I just want to know what it would do to my crap when I shit later, if it would be like all neon or weird. But they were sold out, so I didn't get that. But I found a chocolate-covered maple bacon soda.
That sounds extremely nasty.
Oh, the chocolate was good, but then you got to the salty bacon, and it's not so good. I remember being in the car with my friend, and we took a sip, each of our own. It was disgusting. We put it in the cup holders, and like 25 minutes later, we're just driving, and he just reaches down and grabs it and starts chugging it back, and then he just stops. He's like, pull over, pull over, pull over. So I pulled over, and he opened the door and spit it out everywhere. I was like, why would you do that? He's like, I forgot that was the soda that I put in the cup holder, and I was thirsty, so out of instinct, I just grabbed it. And I just mouthful of chocolatey maple bacon shit. So that's, one of the worst things ever.
Did you guys just take it at that point and just pour them both out so you didn't accidentally drink them?
Well, we did, but I bought a second one to take home to put on my shelf of like weird shit that I bought. And probably about 5 years ago, I brought all those weird pops, like all those weird sodas to my work. And some of the guys that I work with just bought them all for me for like $1 each. And I just got to watch them drink them. The maple bacon one, all this stuff had settled to the bottom. So
Ew.
When they were drinking it, they said it was all sugary and chocolatey, and then they got down to the bottom, and it was all the salty bacon parts. So that was totally worth getting it and drinking it just to watch the guy chug back the disgusting parts right near the end and gag a bit.
Yeah.
And he paid me for it, so it didn't really cost me anything at all at the end of the day.
Yeah, free entertainment.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, those are some interesting things to try. It's 2021. What brings you joy?
I enjoy planning for my next vacation, knowing I can't go on one right now. I've spent a lot of time over the last year meticulously planning out the next like big trip. So it pleases me to look towards the future. And in 2021, even going to a restaurant pleases me these days because it was something we weren't able to do 6 months ago. So just going out. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing concerts this year. So Anticipation is what I'm looking like, brings me joy. Nothing in my current state of like sitting here, watching Netflix and going to work and just same old day in, day out. Like I'm at the point now, I think I've done 68 days in a row of work because I've got nothing else to do. So then I took a 4-day weekend, and I don't have another day off until the middle of April because there's no point in taking a day off if I'm just going to sit at home and play Call of Duty.
Oh, I agree. I mean, the way I've looked at the last year is it's like people ask me, what's changed in your life? I said, well, my life's basically the same, except you took everything fun out of it. It
Yep.
just left me with the drudgery.
Yep.
So I guess I would say the same as far as my joy. Although I did get to go to a concert and see a great band this weekend.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys have stuff opened up in the States, and
Yeah, it's opening up slowly, but there's actually concerts starting to be scheduled here and there. I mean, they're few and far between, which is okay with me. A few here and there right now is fine. I mean, I was going to 2-3 a week sometimes when it was jamming before all this went down. So
God, I wish.
yeah,
I live in a shithole part of Canada, so there's nothing out here.
yeah.
I miss living in the Vancouver area where I would see, I mean, obviously not 2 or 3 a week, but there'd be 3 concerts a month I'd go to.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
It's nice that and comedy shows. So those are the two things. Those are the two things I am starting to go to and enjoy. So
I haven't been to a live comedy show for probably over 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's a long time.
Yeah,
I don't know. I love live comedy, but I told you my cousin passed away a couple years back, and he was my comedy show buddy. So me and him did the comedy show thing together. So it's not the same going by myself.
I was gonna say, does it kill you a little inside every time you go to one now?
A little bit. So, all right. Well, we got more questions, man. I gotta pry into the mind of Clay.
All right.
Open that skull up a little bit. I gotta ask you some kind of wild question. Let's see here.
Well, if it's about feelings, I can tell you I don't have them. Cold black heart.
All right. Do you have a name for your dick? And if so, would you share it?
I'm always willing to share my dick. But as for a name, I remember being in probably grade 8, grade 9, a bunch of friends and we all came up with names for our dick. And the 3 of us called each one of our dicks Tom, Dick, and Harry. So the 3 of us had one guy named his dick Tom, one named it Dick, and one named it Harry. And I was Harry. And looking back, that was okay because pubes were okay back then. But I definitely don't want to be known as the hairy dick guy now. Right?
Right. No, you do not.
Yeah. Different world when I was 15, let me tell you.
So 80s and 90s, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the British called it a growler. It's like a big bear. Yeah.
The lumberjack.
Yeah. Lumberjack vag.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So there's your non-serious question.
Well, I pretty much share absolutely anything. So there's really nothing I'm going to shy from.
Well, I'll share mine if you want to hear it.
Absolutely.
Hear it?
Always.
Hans Christian Andersen.
Well, that sounds like a poetry. Beautiful.
It was, he was special ed in the Twins, and he sounded kind of stupid. So I decided to upgrade him and give him a name with a middle name. So,
nice.
Hans Christian Andersen it is.
And how many people know? How many women?
Probably 3. That's his newer name, so it hasn't been as many. But yeah. I always wanted to name him something like The Truth, so you could say something like "You can't handle the truth," or something funny, But no,
I see it.
Yeah,
for sure.
He's distinguished. I'll put him in a tuxedo.
Are you gonna dress him up or get it painted on?
Maybe. I mean, if a girl wants me to do a puppet show, I'm willing. So.
I've never had the privilege of a girl asking for a puppet show with my dong.
Well, you never know. There are freaks out there everywhere, and so maybe somebody would want the clay dong puppet show.
I hope so.
Yeah.
They'd call it baby dong.
You call it What was that name of that movie? We talked about it before, Little Big Man or whatever, that Japanese movie you ever seen that Japanese movie, A Big Man in Japan? You ever seen Big Man in Japan?
I haven't.
Oh my God, you'll love that. it's like basically like this guy. It's like, well, his grandfather used to be the guy, and then he retired. But it's like his grandson has taken over his job, and he can grow to the size of like a Godzilla, and he like defends Japan from like monsters and stuff. It is an awesome movie. You got to see it.
All right, Big Man in Japan.
Big Man in Japan. Yeah,
Right. It's on the list.
yeah. All right. Well, let's go on to another question here. Since we're talking about dongs,
Absolutely.
We'll see. If you could change one thing about yourself physically, what would it be?
Oh wow! So we're talking about dogs. So you automatically assume I want to change something about my dog?
Well, you talked about how small it is on a regular basis.
So tiny.
You know what the ideal size is according to the polls for women?
I have no idea.
7x4, 7 inches long and 4 inches around. That is the most like average, like best size.
Well, I guess I'll have to do some measurements later. I mean, I would do it right now, but
thanks. I appreciate that.
What would I change like about my physical self or about?
Yeah. Just one thing. If you could change, just one thing.
I want to be taller. I would like to at least be 6 feet.
Yeah.
It'd be nice.
Yeah. I could go with that myself.
I mean, I guess yeah, no, that's it. I'm thinking, bigger penis or smaller nose, but I'm thinking taller.
There you go.
Because you're commanding. You walk into a room and people look up. Whereas I walk into a room and they're like, okay, sure, he's here.
You can get lifts.
Yeah, well, I guess so. But they're like a push-up bra. I take the lifts off when I take a girl home. She's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Well,
Cooking dinner with her. She's like, "You're 5'4". It just feels like that. I'm 5'10". Relax.
Baby, I'm 6 foot when I stand on my wallet.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's why you're staying here. Yeah. No.
Oh man.
What would you change about yourself?
What would I change about myself?
Yeah. You said taller is okay, but
I would say probably taller too, because it seems like every woman in the world, they go, well, what's the first thing they say about a guy? 6 foot or taller.
Yep.
I can't change my height. I mean, I can work out and maybe get some abs. I mean, probably not, but I could. I could work hard and make more money to have 6 figures. Okay, that's possible. But you really can't do much about your height unless you got some really sadistic parents who want to break your legs so you can regrow them so you can do them taller. It's supposedly possible. I never would think that I'd go for it, but
just surround yourself with all short people.
There you go.
Right, you look like the Godzilla in the room.
Well, I'm okay being surrounded by a bunch of 5 foot to 5'3" women. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Just me standing heads. It's like just a crowd of them around me. Just me, like taller.
I think that leads back into your wanting to go to Southeast Asia.
Yeah, well, perhaps
where all the ladies are just a tad shorter than average out here.
There's like a perfect height for me, and it's about 5 foot to 5'3" because they tuck just right in perfectly underneath the old shoulder. So, but yeah, I'd say height. Height is probably the number one thing.
All right, well, we see eye to eye on that.
Either that or perfect vision and never having to worry about glasses. That would be a nice thing to have experienced in my life.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I talked about this on the last episode with my partner, and I've got like a +10 prescription in my eyes, right? So they're terrible. But she talked about how I was lucky because of it. The truth is, when I was a young kid, I had like really, really thick glasses, and my cousin threw a dart at my face and it bounced off the lens. If I didn't have those thick glasses, I would have one less eye right now.
Ow.
So even though I would like perfect vision, I am more than happy that situation happened.
Well, you could have been rocking the eye patch though, and that might have like been really,
I would have tried to model my life after Phil Ken Sebin from Harvey Birdman. That would have been my ideal eye patch guy.
Okay, you know what? That's going to lead me into a new question that wasn't on my list, but I'm going to put it on there instead.
Okay.
Based on your childhood, name something or some things that you thought would either be much more prevalent or a problem. Now, if that doesn't make sense, I'll go first, and I'll say what mine are.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Like, for example, based on the amount of toys I saw as a kid, I thought there was dudes with eye patches all over the world running around because all the bad guys all had eye patches. I'm like, there's a lot of people who only have one eye, and apparently the eye patches are the rage. I mean, you can imagine that, right? Like nowadays it'd be eye patches with like Hello Kitty on it.
Oh yeah, they'd be sequined. They'd be bedazzled.
Oh man, yeah, bedazzled. Quicksand. How many movies did I
Oh my
watch growing
God.
up that had quicksand? I thought every time I was like, man, every time I was walking around, I'm like, is there quicksand around
Yeah,
here?
yeah, like Gilligan's Island, like anything I watched
Yeah,
had quicksand in it.
quicksand. Yeah, every Tarzan movie, like every other episode, somebody fell into quicksand. I'm like,
Yeah,
man,
it's
do
so
you watch
weird.
where you're going?
That's what I was gonna
Uh,
say. Actually, that was one of the things. I was like, yeah, I thought for sure there'd be a lot more quicksand in my life. And
yeah,
Bermuda Triangle freaked me out. It's like, how are we not fixing this? Why are people still going there? Bermuda,
Hey,
I always thought it'd be
yeah,
terrifying to go anywhere near the Caribbean because I'd get sucked into a vortex and I'd be gone.
yeah. We could almost turn this into a whole episode, probably. But I think the other one that will always surprise me, and ever since cell phones and camera cell phones were invented,
Yeah.
spontaneous human combustion. Where'd that shit go?
Wait, what? This is
Spontaneous. You
No,
never
no,
heard of spontaneous human combustion?
No, I know the words. I know what you're trying to say. I just have no idea what you're talking about in regards to where you saw it or why you were afraid of it.
Oh no! Just back in the 70s and 80s, like you read it like about in the tabloids or the magazines, like spontaneous human combustion. They show a picture of like some ashes in a chair or whatever, and the person just burst into flame. But nobody ever had pictures of it happening. Just oh whatever.
Well,
So I'm like, obviously that's bullcrap because once cameras were everywhere, no documentation of it ever.
was that like the World Weekly News, like the supermarket checkout black and white, like
Probably.
Obama's an alien kind of thing? Those
Probably.
Oh my God, my mom
But
got those all the time.
I still thought there would be some spontaneous human combustion. I was just waiting for me to like be at a supermarket and like be sitting there waiting in line and it's like aisle 7, somebody just goes up in flames, Never happened.
I always thought that there would be, you turn, 21 in the States, you turn 18 in Canada or 19, and you just become a drunk driver. There's so many of them. That's all there are. Because there were so many lessons as a young child about, drunk driving.
Right.
And it's not, out here it happens a lot, but my high school and stuff, I don't really remember a lot of people driving drunk. It's almost like you learned a lesson, you get in the vehicle, you buckle up, you get in, you don't drink. It was very simple. But all the videos I watched, all the Grassy Junior High, there was a lot of people getting killed by drunk drivers.
Oh yeah, those classic films like Blood on the Asphalt and driver's ed courses. Yeah. All right. Anything else you can think of off the top of your head?
No, quicksand was the one. Like honestly, quicksand was the one that I thought I would see everywhere I went.
And I thought there'd be wet cement everywhere because like half the movies there's always somebody like running into wet cement.
Yeah. That's so weird. Like, I don't know who thinks of these things.
Who knows? Someday in the future they'll be like, man, teleporter accidents happen all the time.
Yep.
They see Jeff Goldblum in The Fly, so what it was, an early transporter.
Although that does terrify me. As much as I want to teleport, I don't really want to risk.
No, yeah. That's
fusing myself with, a Cheeto or whatever the hell's in the container at the same time.
Dang it, somebody dropped a French fry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would it work? Like with your clothes and stuff, you know what I mean? You'd have to go in naked.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Scotty saw some weird crap, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
All right, let's move on to another question. Let's see here. What's just an example of, say, some of the best advice you've ever gotten and some of the worst advice you've ever gotten?
Some of the best advice is from my mom. Save your money. Don't spend money on a credit card. Save your money. Which is probably the best advice I've ever got in my life. Worst advice? I can't think of any because I honestly don't take advice that, I'm a thinker. So as soon as I get advice, I think about who's given it to me and how it pertains to my life. And then I decide whether or not I'm going to take the advice. So chances are pretty good that if it was bad advice, I probably ignored it. So then bad shit didn't happen to me.
Okay. That's good. Let's see here. Here's another food question for you. What are your top 3 guilty fast food restaurants in the U.S. or Canada or anywhere really? But let's just say U.S. since you come down here quite a bit.
In-N-Out. It's like the first place I go when I land in L.A.
I've hit that In-N-Out by the LAX airport several times in my life. Right there.
So many times.
Yeah.
And it's if I'm gonna land in Phoenix or if I'm like driving through like Salt Lake, boom, In-N-Out. I love it. And I got introduced to Chick-fil-A's spicy chicken sandwich 2 years ago. That is a good fucking sandwich. Oh my
Yes.
God. I'm definitely going to choose that over any other spicy chicken whenever I'm in the States.
Okay.
But I
Me-
didn't have anything else from Chick-fil-A. It's the
Ah.
first time I ever ate there, and that's what I ate. I'm going to have to go with A&W from Canada.
Okay.
I don't really care for it down in the States. It's too greasy.
It's gone down. It's gone downhill so bad.
Yeah, all the restaurants are dirty. In Canada, it's like grass-fed this and like grass-fed that and free-range this, and no hormones, no antibiotics. Like, it is such a healthy place to eat in Canada. All the restaurants are spick and span. It's a beautiful, beautiful fast food place. And I'm a guilty pleasure guy with Taco Bell in the States.
Yeah.
I love me
I
some
hear you.
tacos.
They just rolled out some new items I had yesterday.
And what are they?
A spicy chicken enchilada burrito, and like their loaded nacho. Like they had the loaded nacho tacos, so now they have a loaded nacho burrito.
I'm in.
Like
I mean, I would take no cheese on mine, but I'm in. Like, I'm in 100%.
Yeah. So that was pretty good.
And I love their freezes, like their frosties, their freezes. I don't know what they're called.
I think they're called freezes.
Freezes, yeah. The Baja Blast one is so damn good. And they had a Starburst one for a while that I really liked.
Now, have you ever had Whataburger?
I have had Whataburger.
That's one of my favorites. So
I usually get it. For some reason, I connect a lot in the Dallas airport, Fort Worth. And that's where I get Whataburger. It's really weird. I've never had it in a restaurant. I've only had it at like the food court in the Dallas airport.
No, I've had it. Yeah, I've had it in Austin, and then I had it in San Antonio, and I had it the last time I flew through the Houston airport. They had one at the Houston airport. Made me very happy on my way to Mexico. So
yeah.
Let's see here. I don't know how many questions I've had. I know I'm not up to 10 yet. Let's see here.
I feel like Captain America. Just I could do this all day.
Yeah, that is America's ass. I love that line. This is America's ass.
Everything about those movies are fantastic.
Oh yeah. Okay, this is a good one for your some of your favorite things. Again, I'm gonna do the kind of best and worst thing. What's one of the best places you ever traveled to, and worst place you've ever traveled to, and is there any place in the world that you've traveled to already that you would be like, I could live here the rest of my life?
I love the south of France. I love it. Not Paris. Like, avoid Paris at all costs. If you don't have to go to Paris, do not go to Paris. But if you can go to the south of France, like the vineyards and the villages, and oh my God, it's just beauty. And just probably close to the border of Germany, that area. I could live there in a second.
Like, for some reason, I'm thinking is that like Alsace? Or
Yeah. That area is just beautiful. It's where they designed the Disney animators before they made the Beauty and the Beast in like 1991. They lived there and they redrew the villages and the countryside, and then they redrew it like into the actual cartoon. And
wow.
3 years ago, I went to the village that they drew where Belle is singing at the beginning. Like, little town, it's a quiet village. I literally walked around the little town, the quiet village, and I took pictures at the water fountain. They have the pub there that Gaston sings, no one's quickest. Right. Yeah, it's all legit, like real places. And it's breathtaking and beautiful. And the people are just so friendly. Paris, they treat you like shit and it smells like shit. It's like a 6-hour drive away, but it's two different worlds.
Well, I've heard it smells a lot like piss.
Yeah, it's built on like a sewer, right? Like,
yeah,
the city is how old? Like 2,000 years old or 1,500 years old? It's that's the place I could move to in a second. But the best place I've been to, anywhere in Norway. It's just beauty, hills, mountains, waterfalls, nice people. The restaurants on the outside have like furs and stuff, like all Viking style, like on the chairs and the tables. It's amazing. You go to a coffee shop and there's a fucking fur you can put around you if you're cold.
That huge country, 5 million people. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's a massive country. Like, it would take you like 28 hours of driving if you drove straight from one point at the tip all the way down, right?
Yeah.
Going like the speed limit, like 28 hours. It's huge.
Yeah.
But
lots of land and not a lot of people. That's great.
Worst place I ever traveled? I always like, I'm a glass half full guy, so it's hard for me to dislike something. Paris, I guess.
All right, that's fair.
I think, like, I don't know, out of all the places I've been, none of it has been terrible in any way. And I mean, I would go back to Paris again, but only to go to Disneyland.
Right.
That's it.
All right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've traveled not to nearly as many places as you have, obviously, but I've traveled to a few. I could say I've probably been to one you've never been to, that's for sure. And that's Azerbaijan. So
with the rock hard toilet paper or the
the toilet paper that had like actual chunks of wood in it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I really wish I had an example of that toilet paper to show people. It was,
hell yeah.
It was gray. It was like recycled, wood, cardboard toilet paper. And it literally had like, you could see like the chunks, like outlines of like pieces of wood in it. I mean, it was ridiculous.
It's like they go to Home Depot, they get some like particle board, and they just like thin it out.
Yeah,
super thin.
So we'll just cut up this used sander piece.
Just fucked up. See, that makes me want to go there just to try it.
and that was in the international airport. The international airport, where you're going to try to set the tone for the country.
Yeah. Well, they did.
Yeah. It was that was an interesting trip. It's an interesting trip. I learned a lot though. I mean, great country, good people. The toilet paper at the airport sucks.
Yeah.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Well, just bring your own roll in your bag when you go next time.
Oh hell, man! I could bring a roll of 20. I might be the richest man in Azerbaijan.
Girls be lining up. Oh my god, well, it's the American.
Check at least 15 years ago, yeah. He's got toilet paper. Oh man. All right. I don't think I really have any other questions, man. I mean,
well, I got some questions for you that are a little game we play on the Answers for Everything podcast. It's called Choose Your Own Threesome.
Okay.
So when it comes to a threesome, there's 3 people involved, and you're one of them. Correct?
Okay, yes.
So I'm going to name 3 other people here. You have to remove one of them, but then you have to have a threesome with the remaining 2.
Okay.
All right?
Sure.
Okay. So we got Bob Marley, Gwen Stefani, and Bubba from Forrest Gump.
Huh. Well, obviously, we're going to be doing a male, female. So
I don't think. Well, I mean, you
could do 3 males, but I'm not going to. Gwen Stefani's definitely going to be there. You know what? I'm going to go with Bob Marley just because he'd bring along some good accoutrements for afterward for us to all chill out and watch the sun go down with and smoke up. So
you're picking Bob Marley, Gwen Stefani, and you?
Yeah.
Well, let's hope that Bob Marley, being a man of color, doesn't put you to shame for his enormous penis size.
I go first. My rules.
I guess so. All right. So then we got second one here. We've got Kylie Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, and your mom.
That's a horrible set of choices.
It depends how you look at it. Okay.
It's definitely not good. It's not going to involve my mom. Let's just put it that way.
All right. So now I want you to think about that. Caitlyn Jenner and Kylie Jenner.
That's kind of gross because then that makes them have to be related to each other. Well, actually, hold on. Is he actually her biological? Yeah, I guess he is her biological parent.
Yeah. So my guess is they're not going to be touching each other a lot. So you're going to get double action. They might play a game called They might play a game called Charlie in the Middle.
I don't know. Kylie's probably got enough ass for everybody.
Well, so then we got the third one here. We have the T-800 from the first Terminator movie, Megatron, and the TX from Terminator Rise of the Machines. So the smoking hot female one.
Well, I guess I would definitely take the third one. Wow. Maybe the T800 because it's got an off switch. I can just turn them over in the corner. Or you can just be like a mechanical dildo and just, like a sex machine.
I just can't picture somebody like Megatron. How big is that guy's dick? He's huge. He's the size of, a tank or a plane.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to hurt. All right. So do you ever watch WWE, or have you ever watched WWE?
A little bit. It's been years. So, I mean, if it's older wrestlers, I might know who they are.
Okay. So we got Rikishi.
Oh, God.
Vince McMahon. And Hornswoggle.
I have no idea who the hell Hornswoggle is, but if it's a dude, I'm not interested in any of the three.
It is a dude, and he's a little person, and he's sort of like a leprechaun kind of thing.
I will say I will skip that one and just take.
I don't think that's not really how we play this.
That's the way I play it.
You got to pick, man.
If I really had to pick, it is not going to involve Rikishi. That's for sure.
All right. So Vince McMahon, he's going to be in charge, right? Like he's going to be in charge.
That.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably going to pay you when he's done.
Well, that's a bonus.
That's not a bad thing. All right. So then we got Skylar from Breaking Bad.
I don't know who that is.
You don't watch Breaking Bad?
No, I haven't seen it.
All right. Picture the most annoying wife you could ever have.
Okay. I know how to shut her up.
And then you've got the girl from Cash Me Outside. How about that?
Oh, God. Okay. I know who she is.
And my mom. And just so you know, my mom listens to this, so be nice.
Well, just because I'm not going to do that to you, it will not be with your mom.
But now she feels lonely.
Oh, well, if she sees my picture, she'll be okay.
Cash Me Outside. How about that?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure if I could keep both of them quiet at the same time. We'll have to figure something out.
Get them to keep each other quiet.
Yeah, there you go.
The last one I have here is Simple Jack.
Oh, God.
Forrest Gump. Or Timmy from South Park.
What is with you and dudes?
You just got to pick.
I'd almost have to choose Forrest Gump just because I want to hear him go. He put it in my butt.
So you're gonna be with him. He's one of the three.
I don't know. That's a hard choice.
I would probably remove Timmy because he's like in grade 5.
Yeah, I'm not doing a handicapped child. That's not my speed.
But Simple Jack would be like the icing on the cake, I think.
Simple Jack. How about Simple Jack and Forrest Gump together?
Yep.
You ever heard the theory that Forrest Gump was really a pimp?
No.
Where my money at, Jenny? You better bring me my money before Forrest Gump have to slap a hoe. I got all kinds of hoes. I got fat hoes. I got skinny hoes. I can come down to Bubba Gump's hoe factory.
Is it just me, or was Jenny like the worst human being on the planet?
Oh my God, she was horrible. But you know what? Forrest Gump isn't different than almost every other guy in this world getting hooked up with the wrong choice. So, and it can go both ways. I mean, women can be hooked up with a totally crappy guy. But as far as that movie goes, yes, she was horrible. She hosed him over, didn't tell him he had a kid. Yeah, she was not a good person.
I don't know why she didn't tell him. Like, she didn't want the burden? Or she didn't want him to have the burden?
It's not like he didn't have money. Didn't he have money at that point?
Oh, yeah. He could financially take you. Because he always said, like, you could just stay here, Jenny. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's weird, right?
That right there tells you it's a movie because he offered her everything in a place and she bailed. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Let's just put it that way.
Did you ever read the book?
I never read the book. I've seen the movie.
Me neither. I've seen the movie many times, but never read the book.
Yeah.
I wonder how different it is.
I don't know. You could probably read it faster than he talks, though.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it takes me a long time to read something. I always just wait for the movie to come out.
I really would have been interested in seeing the version though, instead of Bubba being into shrimp and being into hoes down in New Orleans.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
He's like, we got all kinds of hoes down in New Orleans. He dies, and Forrest Gump goes to New Orleans and opens up a whore shop
with Bubba's like mom and sister and stuff.
Yeah. Well, they can be the madam and the whatever. They don't have to work in it, but
you ever been to a whorehouse?
Have I ever been to a whorehouse? Actually, yes, I have. Yes.
You want to talk about
it? Sure. Why not? It was many, many, many years ago, and basically it was in a trailer out in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of like I've never been into a what you call a proper whorehouse. Out a proper whorehouse. We keep everything trim and proper, shaved and proper. But
so like a Craigslist whorehouse.
Let's just put it this way. When you live out in the Midwest and you live in various places, there's God, my accent's coming out. When you live in the Midwest or you live in unusual kind of places, there's sometimes what you say is understandings in certain places. And in this case, I'm not gonna say the name of it. And it was back when I was in my early 20s, but apparently this lady had been running an establishment basically out of a couple of trailers behind a bar out about a couple hours west of here. And she'd been doing it for years, and I don't know if she paid off the cops or they just turned a blind eye to it or whatever. When she died, the whole thing got shut down and all the stuff went away. But when she was alive, she ran it, and just a couple of trailers, and you go out there and you knock on the door and and take care of your action if you want to. Not with her. Not with her. She was like friggin' 70 something, but she had other people that worked there. So yeah, that's my one and only I can say experience with ever going to a house of ill repute, or in this case, a rolling house of ill repute.
Do you remember how much you paid?
$100 maybe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can't say I've ever had the privilege.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but it's not as good as the real thing, I mean, it is the real thing, but not as good as, somebody that cares about you or really wants more than just the money.
Yeah. Every time I go to Amsterdam, it's like, oh, red light district. I guess I'll walk around. Never ever gone through with anything.
Yeah, that's what I thought the first time I went to Frankfurt.
Yeah.
And I went, and they have what they call an EROS district.
Okay.
And you go down there, and it's like a certain block, and it's all adult businesses. And so they have strip clubs and all kinds of stuff. They try to get you in there and spend money. But they have these things that are kind of like little mini towers, like 3 or 4 or 5 stories tall, right? And you walk inside this building, and so kind of like the walking street, like you'd see in Amsterdam, like where you walk and you have the windows. Well, instead of that, you walk in, and girls rent the rooms, and if they're there and available, they're usually got their door open, the light on, or they're sitting there in the doorway, like on a stool or something, right there by the door, and and they're all proposition you and getting and prices and stuff, and if they're not there or they're busy, the door's shut or whatever, and basically as you go in, not to be really denigrating it one way or the other, but the as the farther you go up the tower, the little bit darker skinned it gets and a little bit cheaper it gets. So like the bottom floor is lots of statuesque blondes and the typical Eastern European, German, white skin, and by the time you're up top floor, you have more Indians or African
that sounds terrible.
Immigrants. Yeah, but it's cheaper too. Like I said, you go up. So I mean, it is terrible. But I mean, basically they're renting a room. They pay rent on the room, and they don't have to pay like a pimp. And I mean, there's police in the district and everything. But yeah.
So then it's all legal, and it's
it's legal. Legal, taxed. Yeah.
So government room is probably safe, like STD wise. right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, hopefully they're being tested. I mean, I would imagine that they are. They also have what they call, I don't know if they really call them. They don't really refer to them in the title as sex spas. They call them spas, but they have places you can go and you pay like a flat fee and you go in, and as long as you're in the building or whatever, you can pretty much have sex with any of the girls that are in there for a certain period of time. It's kind of like a flat fee you pay. You go in, and
Okay, where's this?
in Germany.
Well, I think I know where I'm going.
Yeah, I've never been to one of those. That would be certainly interesting.
It's like Disneyland, right? You pay your entrance fee, and it's all the rides are free after that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they work harder if you're 20 versus working harder than if you're 50. Yeah. There's only so much riding action you can have at an older age. So
says you.
Yeah. Magic pills,
baby.
Magic pills. But I mean, I've had some interesting adventures around the world. So
I've never had that adventure. I remember the last time we were in Amsterdam, the guy I was with is one of my friends, and we're just walking down one of the streets. We're looking at the girls, we're talking, and he goes to talk to one of the girls to get a price, and he comes back. He's like, yeah, she wants 75 euros to go down on me. And I was like, okay. And he's like, hey, nobody's down this street. Let's go down here. So we're walking, and it's still a red light district because the windows are there. And we're walking. He's like, why does that girl, is that like a pear shoved down her pants? I'm like, nope. Yeah. She's got extra parts that aren't girl parts. He's like, but she looks like a girl. I was like, she does, but she doesn't. Yeah. So he's like, you want to get off this street? I'm like, I'll just keep walking down. It doesn't matter to me. And then, move on to the next street. But yeah, it's just like, why did she have a pear down her pants? I was like, nope, no pear. That would be illogical.
Yeah. She's got a pear down her pants and an apple in her throat. So yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't even look for the apple. I assumed once I saw the pear, it's kind of a given there was an apple, but yeah, I should have looked.
Yeah. It's like, hey, no biggie, everybody's got their thing. So
I'm gonna call it fruit salad row from now on.
That's a different kind of fruit basket.
Yeah, it is. But
yeah,
definitely have to do a trip out to, where did you say that was?
Germany.
Like where in Germany?
Well, where I went to was in Frankfurt, but
Frankfurt.
Most of the big cities, they all have their own little district. The one that was nice about the Frankfurt one though is that it's right near the train station. So like if you come in,
convenient.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Trains going in and out, you going in and out. It's it's all good, close to the same place.
Man, so Canada doesn't think about their tourism on that level.
Which is, it's just too bad. Although I will say this, when I was in Vancouver, I did notice you guys have an unusual large amount of escorts in your classified section.
Oh yeah, it's not illegal in Canada.
Well, see, there you go. That's awesome.
So it's prostitution is legal, but propositioning somebody is illegal. Okay. So if I proposition a woman for a night of intimacy for money, I can get arrested. But if she's selling her body for money, she does not get arrested.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
I don't make the rules.
I know. Well, we have the same rules down here. Of course, down here, both will be arrested. You're both going to be in trouble. I mean,
it's not illegal.
Selling is illegal, and propositioning somebody is illegal. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I don't. I've never understood that. I've always thought prostitution should be legal. I mean, basically, it's all we all do anyway. We prostitute ourselves for whatever our work is that we don't want to do for money. It's just that, hey, this is a part I was born with and I can make money with it. Nope, you can't do that. Anything else of your body, but you can't do that.
Well, maybe they just have a harder way to tax it.
Well,
because people don't want a record of those visits, so they pay cash.
No, yeah, exactly.
The government has a hard time taxing cash.
Yeah.
That's one of the guys I worked with said the whole COVID thing was all cash related. It's the government's trying to remove cash so they can trace where all the money is going all the time, where money is spent, to stop drug dealers from being drug dealers because they can't accept cash anymore.
Yeah, or they could just legalize all drugs and not have drug dealers that are doing it illicitly.
Well, I mean, even though drugs are legal, like in Canada, it's across Canada. You can buy marijuana anywhere. But
they charge a lot.
They charge way too much.
Yeah.
And I realized why. It was the packaging.
Oh yeah.
It's really like a guy came to work and he showed me the weed he was smoking, and it comes out of like a test tube, like a plastic hard shell test tube where they have like two joints in it. I'm like, how much does that cost? Like a drug dealer uses a Ziploc bag, right? Like
Right.
4 cents.
Yeah.
Whereas the government gets custom made cylinders and tubes and stuff with like a snap lid, and it's got to be like airtight so you can't smell the stuff. Like the reason it costs so much is because of packaging.
Well, that's why you buy it legally a couple of times. You keep the packaging, and then you just buy it illegally. And then if they ever ask you if you got it legally, like, yep, I got my tube right here.
Yeah, but see, that's why the government is losing money on it. The Canadian government is losing money on weed because they're too stupid to figure it out, right?
Yeah, that's pretty bad to be so stupid that you can lose money selling weed.
Yeah, like the drug dealers in Canada are still making fuck tons of money because people are buying from them and not the legal government shit. The people that are buying the legal government stuff are the ones that are too scared to get it from a drug dealer, right?
Oh yeah.
They probably didn't smoke weed before it was legal.
Right. Yeah, in that case, they probably still shouldn't be smoking weed.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I went into a couple of different dispensaries when I was in California just so I could kind of get the experience. I haven't been to one in Colorado yet to check them out, but it's a trip when you walk into it and they got a counter and they got all this stuff up in jars and everything's all, it's all like clinical, and they're like, so what kind of flavor are you looking for? And all this other stuff. And they're like, hey, if you sign up today with us, you get a free pre-roll. I'm like, sign me up. It was an interesting experience. I will say the most fun thing I've ever tried when I was out there in California was edibles. That was a interesting experience.
That's weird. We just talked about it on our last episode because 2 or 3 episodes ago, a friend brought over some edibles. And my podcast partner and I split one where I got like the bigger chunk. I don't smoke weed. It like she'll come over and she'll bring like 6 joints and I'll smoke 4 and not feel anything. She'll smoke half of one and then I have to drive her home. Like my body just doesn't like weed. It just doesn't do anything with it. So she's like, here, you have the big chunk because you need it more than I do. And I ate it and I don't remember recording the episode. I just remember them talking. It was so weird. Like I had to edit it and I was like, I don't want to edit this. I don't even remember it. I don't remember the conversation. I remember getting a ride back to my car after the show. And then I remember driving home and then I don't remember anything else. So I'm listening to it and I talk maybe 5% and I'm just sitting there. And she's like, yeah, there were times when you just like, you're like playing ping pong. You look at me, then you look at Dora, then you look at me, then you look at Dora, and then you look at me, you open your mouth, you don't say anything, you look at Dora. I said the weirdest thing about it is when we were all sitting there talking, like at the end of it, I'm looking down for the microphone to make sure my distance is okay from the mic so I don't like mess up the sound. And I couldn't see the microphone. And then I forgot what we were talking about. And then I was like, I don't see the microphone. And she's like, we stopped recording 20 minutes ago. What do you mean you can't see the microphone? I was like, we're not recording anymore. I had no idea the show had ended. Not a clue. So the edibles really messed me up. So I bought another bag of them and I can't wait to eat more of those things. I'm just not going to do it before a show because I was so like, she's like, you made a better listener than you did a host on that show for sure. You didn't say anything. I was like, all right, that's cool.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know how many milligrams were in what you took. All I know is that when I went to Los Angeles a couple years back, the last time we bought it looked like a little like not chiclets, but like the gum packages, and so this had like all these little poke outs. There's like 10 pieces in it total. Yeah. And I think I took 2 at one time. That was a good day.
Oh, yeah, it feels
from what fantastic. From what I remember of it, yeah.
It reminds me of mushrooms. I get a headache after I do mushrooms. I would love to do mushrooms every day. But when I wake up, my head is pounding and I hate my life. Like it's worse than a hangover. So I don't do them, right? Yeah. But the edibles gave me the body stone that I really, really enjoyed. So yeah, I would do them, whenever. I mean, obviously I've got, kids and a job and shit and this, so I can't be doing that. Right. But if I didn't have like kids or job, man, I'd probably be high all the time on edibles.
I don't think I would be all the time. I'm definitely, like you said, you asked me earlier, you said, as far as happiness, like now versus being a kid. And, even with my life being challenging. I will say that. But then again, everybody's life is challenging in one way or another. I mean, me and you've talked about many aspects of our life.
Especially relationships. That's the most challenging part.
Yes. That's a challenge for every man, woman, and in between on this planet.
Not if you're really hot and rich.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a problem for them too, because a lot of them, well, if you're hot and rich, well, it takes care of a lot of problems.
It does.
If I was hot and rich, I would never ever worry about getting married. I'd just smash all through my life and then retire, and I'd just pay some hot nurse to take care of me and feed me when I'm older, and a handy once in a while.
And people say money can't buy happiness. Look at you.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of people, they say money can't buy you happiness, and I guess that's usually said by people who don't have money. But I think money just buys you a different level of problems. That's all. I think it just, until you get to the point where you're basically like a demigod status, like Gates or Buffett, where they can just go, I can buy a state, or I can buy a country, then you can buy everything. But I mean, heck, look at say Jeff Bezos. He lost half his crap to his wife because he had to dip his wick on the side. It's like either A, be a lot smoother about covering it, or don't do it.
I mean, she's a lot hotter than his ex-wife. So,
well, yeah, admittedly, yes.
Right. But I mean, it didn't hurt him to lose half.
Yeah, not really.
Right.
Not really. Yeah.
What's the difference?
Darn it. He's down to 100 billion. I mean, oh, darn.
Yeah. What's the difference between 100 and 200 billion? Like nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing.
I keep that in my change on the sofa.
Yeah.
I think if you printed in $1,000 bills, I couldn't stuff $200 billion in my house. It would be more money than would fit in my house. It probably takes several of my houses to have $200 billion.
Well, see, then you don't need it.
Exactly. Besides, I got 200 billion Joes. So
that's true. More G.I. Joes than any human I've ever met.
Only 10,000.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Dude.
I could probably sell half of those.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely going to be its own episode for sure, because I got a lot of stuff to talk about G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And, wealth of knowledge. Cauldron that's overflowing.
Yeah, right. All right, man. I'll tell you, anything else you want to talk about? I mean, we can keep talking as long as you want. I don't care. So,
nope. I think this is good.
Okay, good for a first episode. We got to save something to talk about another episode. We got to get further into my tantra massage adventures. We got
that's what I wanted this episode to be about. I just want the listeners to be like, wait, tantric massage? Tell me more. And they'll be like, okay, we're gonna talk G.I. Joe. They're like, no, I need to listen to the next one.
Well, so I'll just tease them with the one thing. 9 full body orgasms in 1 hour. It is humanly possible. Stay tuned for that episode coming up one of these days.
I just jizzed in my pants thinking about it.
None of that's allowed.
All right.
All the experience, none of the mess.
Oh, sometimes you want the mess. I mean, every porn movie I've ever watched, there's always a mess at the end. Is that not the way to do it?
It is. As a matter of fact, I went and saw a band last night. I told you I went and saw a band from Iowa called the Rumors last night.
We're just talking about jizz, and now you're talking about a band. It's like related.
Wait. One of the songs on their last album is "Put Your Love on My Face." So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. They say it's a good moisturizer.
Well, I guess I'll have to try it.
Yeah.
Although I'm probably not going to store it. I'll just do like one shot.
There you go.
And I'll say no homo before it hits my face.
Well, put in a pina colada. That way you don't really taste it.
How do you know that? I'm just asking. How do you know that?
I watched a movie and they did that.
Yeah, sure. That's what it is.
Buddy games. Watch Buddy games.
I've got too much stuff to watch. I got an Asian giant Godzilla killing man to watch.
You got to see Big Man in Japan. That is awesome.
Big Man in Japan. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I want to thank you for taking the time out to answer a bunch of stupid questions, and I enjoyed your threesome answers. And just so you know, I'm going to keep playing the choose your threesome game, but you can't pass on any of them. It doesn't matter if it's all dudes. or your relatives. You got to choose it.
What? Take a mulligan.
So is there anything else you want to add? You want to let the listener know anything about you, or just tease him with the...
Well, I already gave him one tease. So, okay, I'll give him another tease. Another time in tantra massage, having about a 45-minute long continuous orgasm.
Okay, I just jizzed in my pants again.
Is possible. Yes. It's not quite as intense as the other experience, but it's more like a 7 out of 10, but that's still pretty damn good for 45 minutes in a row.
You're giving these orgasms, or you're
these
having...
These are the ones I'm receiving.
And you can also provide the giving if you...
Yes. Although I've never done that to a man, just to women.
I just don't understand why more people aren't doing that. Why are not more people lined up to learn this?
I don't know why either. I mean, I obviously promote it and encourage people to learn about it, whether it's for me or for somebody else. But I think it's just like anything. The state next to me, Missouri, the slogan of the state is the "Show Me State." Okay. People see videos, people read books. I mean, just like I did. I mean, have you ever had a prostate massage orgasm?
I have not. Well, there was a utensil utilized that vibrated that was up there. So I have had that, but it wasn't just that. There was also touching on my genitals as well.
Right, which is fine. I mean, you can do it in conjunction with it. You normally would.
Okay,
but
because it wasn't just hands free. You know what I mean?
No. I understand. I can say that a combination of a woman with giving you a prostate massage at the same time as a blowjob is outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Well, I mean, been there, done that. So I agree.
There you go. Yeah. But until you experience that, you don't necessarily believe it's possible. You read, you can have this kind of experience. Oh, I don't believe it. I've never had that. I don't know what the heck they're talking about. Then you have it and you go, wow, that's possible. Then you hear something else like, hey, you can have 3 or 4 full body orgasms as a man. You go, bull crap. That's not possible. How the heck do you have an orgasm without ejaculating? How's that possible? I mean, I don't understand it. The thing is, an orgasm and ejaculation is 2 separate things, because the orgasm happens just a hair before ejaculation. So if you can figure out how to stop that last bit and you can have an orgasm, you can have the whole orgasm, you can have the full experience, only instead of releasing all your energy by ejaculating, you move the energy all through your body, and it's just like the way a woman has a full body orgasm, so do you. And then you build it up again, and then you can do it again, and you build it up again, and you do it again. I mean, I would guess it can go on for quite some time, more than I was as a learning practitioner, but 9 times an hour it's pretty intense, especially because each one gets more and more intense as you do it. So
you've sold me on it.
Well, if you ever want to go to the Czech Republic, I know a great course that they teach it in. Of course
I want to go to the Czech Republic.
Oh, who doesn't?
I love Prague. Prague is fantastic.
Oh, I love the Czech women. The women in the Czech Republic are amazingly beautiful, amazingly smart, very sexy. So,
all right,
I highly recommend it. Two thumbs up.
Okay, so I've got 2 thumbs up to go to Frankfurt for tower prostitution. And then we're going to go to the Czech Republic for tantric massage. And I'm going to go to the Middle East, but don't use the toilet paper. Azerbaijan.
What's that? Yeah, don't use the toilet paper. Azerbaijan. Yeah.
Azerbaijan? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 more. I mean, I've been to Prague before and I've been to Frankfurt, but I didn't participate in those 2 activities. So I have places to go and things to see. And
well, we're gonna have to go to Europe and go to Germany and the Czech Republic together, and I'll make sure I introduce you to some interesting places.
I'm in. I'm sold. You said vacation. You said trip. I'm in. Doesn't matter where it is.
Once we're allowed to, and you don't have to come. You don't have to come back and get put in a hotel and pay a bunch of money and everything.
Yeah, our country's a little fucked up here.
Hey, but they're sorry about it. Sorry.
Yeah. Blame Canada. Anyway, thanks, man. This has been enlightening, I hope, for others as it was for me. Hope they have.
Well, I appreciate it, Clay. Thanks for bringing me on, and I look forward to many more shows.
All right, man. So you have a great night.
You too.
Okay. All right. Peace out, listeners. Till next week.